Okay, so part two of the Ranger Terraria Let's Play. We start by still trying to get this bloody house valid because it just doesn't work. Someone in the comments last time said I needed a full block. I tried and it just wouldn't work. And in the end, I just gave up and just made the whole of the floor a solid block because I could still get to my chest through the wall. So that was great. I then decided to make a tungsten chest plate and swapped it out for my platinum one. Even though the platinum had a bit more defense, the set bonus was just much better. With my extra 2 defense that gave me, I decided to go do some more mining. This time I decided to use a Splunker potion, as I had, I think, 2 left in my chest, because I was trying to get a hook. I managed to pretty much straight away find what I thought was rubies, but it was actually amethyst. But then I went down to where the diamond tree was last time, and I managed to get 2 diamonds, so we can thankfully make ourselves a diamond hook when we go back up. My main goal for today really is to at least fight the Eye of Cthulhu. I never really bother with King Slime, so we're trying to get as many heart crystals, and we've already got the grappling hook now. Well, we haven't made it, but we're going to make it. That's all that matters. We decided to use our mining set for a bit while we were down here. Although this gave us a bit less defense, we had plenty of weapons now to actually fight off everything. And we also had enough life to not die immediately. But while I was down here, I managed to find a hoplite, which meant I was near a marble biome. Now, when I first saw the marble biome, I was pretty excited because these are normally full of like life crystals and stuff like that and chests. But after exploring it, there was generally nothing other than one chest that was like underground or underneath the marble biome. So I was very disappointed with that. But thankfully, we can mine marble, I guess. I don't even know. But the chest we got was pretty crap, to be honest. Unfortunately, from the chest, all we got was a flare gun, so that was crap. But as soon as we left the little marble house, we managed to find ourselves a mushroom biome. So as I mined up to that, I managed to get a whoopee cushion from a worm. I don't think I've ever used one of these or had one, so that was random. But I could see some life crystals in there, so I was quite happy as we got closer. So after killing the first few, or the first load of enemies that seemed to spawn as soon as I came in here, we managed to get our next life crystal, getting us to, I believe, 320 health. Now it was at this point that the Goblin Tinkerer decided to show up, and I was so happy. All of that pain that we went through in the last episode was finally over. He was getting attacked, so I was a bit worried. I rushed down, saved him, and I wanted to grab the Tinker's Workshop and some rocket boots. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough money for both, so I just grabbed the rocket boots for now. Now, after mining a few more bits of ore, we got to a point in caving where there was just lava everywhere, and I couldn't really be asked to deal with it. So I recalled back home because I still don't have a magic mirror, and I decided to craft that gem hook, which I so dearly needed. It was at this time I realised that it had been a blood moon this whole night, and I only had a few minutes left, so I tried to kill as many as I could to see if I could get any of the drops. Unfortunately, I got nothing, but I did find this zoologist absolute holding down the fort like an absolute god. I decided I wanted to finish building my arena that I started building, so I've made some grey bricks and I put them along the floor just to make it look a bit nicer. I also had some spare dirt now, so I tried to finish up the end of it as well, making that look as nice as possible. For some reason, we still didn't have enough materials, but I couldn't be asked to go and get more, so I just gave up in the end. With our arena now made and our grappling hook equipped, I decided to make some frostburn arrows. This is because they do like twice as much debuff damage as the flaming arrows that you can get. And the Eye of Cthulhu is still weak to them, which is the boss I'm planning to go for at the moment. I then decided to get some gravitational potions out of my chest and use them to go find some sky islands. While using the grav potion, we managed to run into a desert and a sky lake that we could use for fishing a bit later. It's not very useful now, but I'm sure it'll help us with those bloody angular quests that I might do. We also managed to find a living tree and the jungle biome, which was going to be quite useful because I wanted to get a boomstick later. After travelling almost like a quarter of the world, I finally managed to find a sky island that had a chest. I wanted to build the horseshoe balloon, so I needed to get the horseshoe, which I finally get from a chest. And I was just waiting on the balloon now, but unfortunately my gravitation potion runs out and I fall to my death. Now when we got home, I went through my potions chest to see if we had any potions to help us with the Eye of Cthulhu fight. All we had was swiftness, so it's the only one I've got. I then put a few more torches down just while we waited for it to be fully night. I still don't have enough torches, so I ran out again. And then I also run out of grey brick while I'm trying to finish up the arena, so that's brilliant. Just as I'm about to summon it, I get a message saying I feel an evil presence watching me, which means the Eye of Cthulhu is going to spawn for free, so I don't even have to use one of my summons. That's even better. So when the boss finally spawned, I used the Frostburn arrows to get the Frostburn debuff on it, and I used my Undertaker to try and keep consistent damage. I believe the Undertaker did slightly more damage, and it was a lot easier to aim with, so that's just what I went with. With these two weapons, it didn't take it that long to get it down to half health, where it entered its second phase. Second phase isn't that hard, it just, if anything, it makes it easier because it charges right at you. It's third phase where it gets annoying, where it starts dashing up and down, and the lower health it gets, the more it does this. As it starts to move a lot faster and quicker, I start to hit it a lot less often, and it starts to hit me a lot more, making my health drop very quick. But thankfully we had enough health and enough damage to kill the Eye of Cthulhu, so we've killed our first boss. When I started the Eye of Cthulhu fight, I didn't realise that I had the other grab potion in my inventory, so as soon as I finished the Eye of Cthulhu, I headed up into space to try and open a few more chests up there. The only other thing that I wouldn't mind getting from a Skyland would have been the fledgling wings, but they're really rare, so I never normally count on getting them. I found one more, thought I'd try my luck, and I got the Celestial Magnet, which I can't use because it is a mage accessory. When I get back home, I use some of the Demonite bars that I got from the Eye of Cthulhu to make a Demonite bow. This is an upgrade to our Platinum bow and does slightly more damage. With my new and upgraded bow, I decided to fight the Eye of Cthulhu 2 more times. The first time goes really well, and I do it much quicker, and then the second time, as soon as I spawn it in, it gets hit by a fallen star, which has never ever happened to me, but it got rid of about a quarter of his health in the first hit. Just look at that. Oh, so happy. Now that I've defeated the Eye of Cthulhu 3 times, I had quite a lot of loot and money that I could use to buy some things. So I decided that I should go to the other biomes and make some houses for the NPCs to live in. My first plan was to do it in the desert, where I had to cut down some of the trees. I wanted to make all of the houses in the different biomes themed to that biome, so the trees or the houses in the desert used the palm wood and cactus furniture and doors. I always find that when I build houses in Terraria, I always build utter shit boxes for when I first move in, because I don't have enough time or materials to make them look too good. But I do like to upgrade them over time. So hopefully I can do that with this world and make the world look really good. I'm not a world-class builder or anything, but I'll try my best to make them look decent. Almost immediately after I finished building the houses, the dry arrived, and I ran straight over and bought 70 planter boxes. This means I can have 10 planter boxes for each crop in the game, as there's 70 of them. I then recalled home and put them outside of my house. I know it doesn't look good, it looks shit, but I will fix it. And for some reason, instead of putting one on the bottom layer, I decided to just build this floating layer. I don't know why, I'm an idiot. At the moment, I didn't have that many seeds. I only had Daybloom and Blinkroot, but after clearing out my inventory, I decided to continue exploring and hopefully build some houses in the jungle. On our way to the jungle, we ran across the living trees that we saw earlier while we had the gravitation potion. I couldn't be bothered to loot them now because I just wanted to get the houses done, and it was becoming night. I didn't really want to be here at night because the jungle can get pretty scary. One good thing about it being night though is that NPCs will just teleport to the houses that you built for them. So this was the best time I could find to build a house in the jungle. Once again, I was trying to keep the jungle theme going. This time I used the mahogany wood that grows in the jungle, and I used the bamboo for the furniture that I've made. For some reason I didn't actually know that you could make furniture out of bamboo. I mean, it makes sense, but I'm quite happy I did, because I think it generally does look quite good. Now that it was nighttime, I could move the arms dealer and the nurse in and quickly run out the way, so I could buy the pylon. The arms dealer and the nurse really like each other, so you can put them in almost any biome and buy the pylon. I then did the same thing in the desert. I just fast travelled back home and ran to the desert and moved them back here and got another pylon. For those of you who don't know, pylons allow you to teleport between bases. They're just really useful for getting around the map. With my newfound money that I'd got from defeating the Eye of Cthulhu, I was able to buy the Tinker's Workshop. This allows you to combine certain accessories like the horseshoe and the balloon and the double jump that I've had, and I can also combine my Hermes boots and my rocket boots, so I can run super fast and fly. with my new upgrades, I decided to head to the jungle and try and get some loot from there. I really want to get the boomstick and a beetle so I can be immune to the poison for when we fight Queen Bee. For those of you who don't know, the jungle is quite a hard biome to mine in. It's got very good loot, there's lots of good chests, but the enemies in here are really strong and they pretty much all inflict poison, which just kills you a lot of the time. After getting disappointed from my first chest, I decided to try and kill some hornets to get some stingers so I can make some upgrades for later. Now that I'm doing the voiceover, I realised I didn't need stingers for anything. I can't use them for anything, so I'll probably just make an axe of regrowth, which will at least help me get materials, I guess. But once again, my ignorance to bring torches just leads to my doom, and I die. But it's fine, I got some moon glow seeds, that's fine, brilliant. Fucking hell. After dying to a lack of torches again, I kind of lose it, and I just spend all of the money I've got left on torches. But it's for a good reason. We are going to go and find the Brain of Cthulhu now, and I'm just going to go build an arena for him. So we finally venture into the Crimson, where I was too scared to venture before, and look for, I don't know what you call them, these little meatball things? I don't know, man. But we follow the weird meatball structure down, and it leads into this big cavern, where we can build an arena to fight the Brain of Cthulhu. That was stupid, I'm never doing that weird voice again. Now, this doesn't look like it took me that long, but this is 8 separate clips that I had to cut together because I just kept getting attacked by like swarms of enemies for just no reason other than they just disliked me today. But it was while I was building this that I realised I didn't have a Shield of Cthulhu because it's a melee weapon and I had never done it without one before. After finishing up on the arena, I decided to head to the jungle to see if I could have any better luck with getting the boomstick. From the first chest that I found, I managed to get another cloud in a bottle, which I equipped to the mining loadout, just because I was fed up of having to switch my accessories across every time I wanted to use it. I then found this like underground tree where I got some melee accessory, which I can't use, and then managed to dodge a boulder by sheer luck. But it was this chest that gave me my pet turtle, which I'm hopefully going to use for the rest of the series. I then did a bit more mining and found another set of feral claws, which I still can't use. And then it was literally seconds later where I finally managed to get myself a boomstick and a bee minecart. So, you know, 2 good items in a chest, I guess? I don't know. After swapping out my Undertaker for my new boomstick, I gave the Eye of Cthulhu a fight. And it went so much quicker. Not quicker than the one with the Fallen Star, because I wasn't blessed this time, but it was a pretty quick fight. I don't know if everyone does this throughout their like Terraria playthroughs, but every time I get like a better gun, I just kind of fight the Eye of Cthulhu every now and then, just to see how much quicker I can defeat it. But I decided to do this twice, so hopefully we can get some better reforges on our guns later on. And I think the more money and more Demonite will definitely help us in the future, as I'm hoping to make the Crimtame armor when we defeat the Brain of Cthulhu. It was at this point that the Travelling Merchant finally appeared for the first time in this world, and he had the DPS meter which I bought, and he had the Dynasty Wood that I wanted to make my houses out of, so I quickly spent all of the money that I just earned on that. So that was brilliant. I'm so glad we don't waste money here, Jesus. To prepare for the upcoming Brain of Cthulhu fight, I get out a regen, swiftness and iron skin potion, and I also have enough to get a archery potion, which will mean our arrows fly faster and do more damage, which I can't say no to. Not realising how little money I had left from the Travelling Merchant, I tried to reforge my boomstick, and I'm given the annoying modifier, and I've run out of money so I can't reforge it again. I then run over to the arms dealer and sell everything I can, so I can get some more money hopefully. I then managed to get up to about 30 gold, which I consider buying the mini shark, but I decided not to, as I think the upgrade for the boomstick would be much better. When I do the upgrade, I get staunch, which I just go with. I don't know if it's good or bad, but we're just going to roll with it. Finally, with our upgraded shotgun, I decided it was time to actually fight the Brain of Cthulhu. So we use some bombs to destroy some of the Crimson Hearts. From the second orb that I break, I get the Armoured Panic Necklace, which gives me 3 defense, and if I take damage, I move a lot faster. And then after destroying the third orb, the Brain of Cthulhu spawns, and I use my Jester arrows to rip shit into it. Well, that's what I hoped would happen. It doesn't. It just goes really slowly, and I end up giving up with the bow and using a shotgun. It was during this fight that I really noticed the lack of a dash. Normally, if I do like a class-only playthrough, I just kind of allow the Shield of Cthulhu because it's an accessory. But this time I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. And it showed, because I nearly died. Brain of Cthulhu ends as its second phase, the brain like opens up and reveals a heart. I don't know why there's a heart in the brain, but there is, and it also starts to make projections of itself, and the further you go on in the fight, the more realistic they get. From what I've heard, there is like a pattern to the position it goes to, because you can only hit one of them. I don't know this pattern, so I was just panicking and shooting in every direction, and it was not working. I was getting hit a lot, and I was very worried I wasn't going to be able to do this fight. But out of sheer luck, we managed to just guess enough of the time, I guess, and we managed to kill him, which made me feel very happy, as we could get the Brain of Cthulhu. This item gives you a 1 in 6 chance to avoid an attack, and it also grants the ability to inflict confusion. Not many enemies are actually weak to that, but I decided to swap it out for the shoe spikes, as I don't really use those anymore. Using the Crimtane ore and the tissue samples that I got from the Brain of Cthulhu, I decided to make the Crimtane armour. This gives you a massive bonus to health regen, and slightly more defense than the silver armour I've been using. But that's all for today, so thank you for watching, and I might even do a part 3.